Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Shah. I'm a branding and web designer based in the UK, and today's video is going to be a follow-up from my previous video where I designed a landing page, and I did it with the help of Wix Studio for some design inspiration. If you haven't already seen that yet, I will link it somewhere on the screen so you can go and watch that first if you like. Today I'm going to be developing that design and bringing it to life on Wix Studio, which I am super excited to share with you and give you a little tutorial on the back end and how you can use it. But not only that, I want to show you some of the features and tools on the back end of how it makes your life easier as well as your clients. It truly is an all-in-one platform that covers everything from social media to app integrations to resource kits for your clients to make it easier for them to upkeep. So if you're looking to up-level your client experience and give them like a really easy way to maintain their site, then this is an amazing platform and I highly recommend that you check it out. Without further ado, let's jump into my screen and we can start developing the site together. So I'm currently in the back end of Wix Studio with a blank screen, and I've set up all of my site styles already, so you can see I've got all of my headings and my paragraph text as well. So in order to change these, you just need to press the edit button and select your font. So at the bottom you can also upload your own fonts, which is really cool, and then you can set the text size and everything, and then just hit apply and then it saves. And you can also set your colors. So I've put all of my brand colors in here, so we're all ready to go. And this section is actually going to be a background section with an image. So I'm just selecting that. I've uploaded the images already in here, so I'm just selecting the right one. And then I want to set the background color as black, and then change the opacity of the image just so that we can layer some text over it and you're able to read it. The next thing I want to do is in the design that I have, we've got a line going across the bottom in pink. So I'm just going to set that, change the width a little bit and change the color. And then I'm going to set this so it's locked to the bottom of the screen. So I just do this by docking it to the bottom with 0%. And I'm just now changing the width of the line. And I'm happy with that. So I'm going to add in the icon logo. So I'm just going to select it and then add it to the page and just go and fiddle with this a little bit until it's exactly how I like it. So now I'm just going to add some header text, and I'm just going to drag this from the styles that I've already made, and I'm going to go and change some of these settings around in the editor to get it how it looks in the design. So shy, just don't keep me. I also need to grab a arrow because that is part of the design as well, and they've got a bunch of decorative icons you can use, so it makes it really easy. So I'm just putting that in place, and then I'm going to change the color to white and just make sure that's all in alignment. And I'm just going to stack these two items together and then stack the top and bottom text together as well. The next thing I want to do is add some entrance animations. So I'm going to make this appear from the left, and that looks good to me. And then I'm going to make the icon logo appear from the bottom, I think that's fine. So I'm happy with that. And then I also want to make this arrow bounce up and down. So I'm going to set a loop animation and just adjust that until it looks good. So now that's done, I want to see how it's looking across the different breakpoints. So there's tablet and mobile. I'm going to select tablet first, and you can see the design is a little bit funky on the different screen sizes. So I'm just editing this here to make sure all is looking okay. Call me baby, I know it's kinda crazy, but if you're down for me, let's. Once that's all good on the tablet, I'm just going to switch over to mobile and change this up a little bit as well. The hero section is good to go. Now we're going to add a new section, and this is going to be the about section. So I'm just going to change the background color of this to fit the design. And then we need to add some text as well. So I'm just going to copy some text over and then copy and paste the right copy from the design. So I just altered the text a little bit to get it how I want it to look. So I think all is looking okay now. but I'm just adjusting the height of the section so that we've got some room to work with. And I'm copying and pasting that pink line as well to go right at the bottom. So I'm just going to dock it to the bottom and make sure it's set to 0% so it stays right at the bottom. And now we have to create those cards as seen in the design that we did. So I'm just copying over a container. And then I'm going to start editing this and adding some more containers, some text and some imagery. And then I'll show you how it looks at the end, and then we can copy and paste it a couple times to create all the cards. So now we've got the first card looking good. I'm going to start adding interactions onto the page. So for the left-hand text, I'm going to add an entrance animation just so that it slides in from the left-hand side. So I'm just going to select left, and now that's set to the left-hand side. And those little icons, I'm selecting the spinning animation, and for the title, I'm doing a fade animation. So let's see how that's all looking. I like how it looks now. So what I'm going to do is edit the card on different breakpoints to see how it's looking, and making sure that everything is kind of fit in a easy to read way. So I'm just stacking things a little bit differently and aligning things differently. And the reason why I'm not creating all of the cards at once is because it's so much easier to do one card first and then copy and paste it once it's edited, so that there's less edits to make once we go into the different breakpoints. So what you'll see me doing here is just editing it on the tablet until I like it. And then I'm going to edit it on the mobile as well. And then once it's all good on both tablet and mobile, I'm going to copy and paste the other cards in and just change around the text and the icons. So now we're looking good across all breakpoints. I'm just going to copy and paste those cards a couple times and then design each one of them. And then we'll be back with adding the sticky positioning.
I'm looking, but if you want to, we could do something kind of crazy. How about you? Call me baby. Cause I've been, call me baby. I know it's kinda crazy, but if you're down for me, let's do something kinda crazy. Don't be so shy, just call me baby. Don't keep me waiting, yeah.
So once the cards are all ready and looking good across the different breakpoints, I'm just adjusting the size of the section a little bit now. So I've made it a little bit shorter, but I'm also adding some padding at the bottom. And because we've added padding at the bottom, we need to adjust the margins on the line just so that it's still sticking to the bottom. So we've gone and done that. And now I'm just setting all of the content to sticky top, and the offset is 10% for the first items. So this one will be 10, and then the one underneath it will be 12. We want to make a little bit of a layering effect. And then the one underneath that is going to end up being 14. So we're going to set that as sticky and then 14%. And then we can view how that's going to look now. So it's sticking at the top, the next one's going over. And because there's no content underneath, it's not going to go all the way up, but it will do once we have got other sections in there. So on here it's looking a little bit strange and also not quite centered, so I'm going to go in and fix that a little bit. So I'm just going to center text, and then I'm also going to turn off the sticky and just set it as default. Yeah, it'll scroll as normal, and then once it gets to the cards it will start sticking. So it's all looking fine across the different screen sizes. I'm now going to add in a new section, and we're going to use one of the Wix sections, which is this click section here. So I'm just going to press that and it will automatically pop in. I just need to adjust where it is positioned right now because it's above the about section. So I'm going to drag it down, and I'm just going to take this opportunity to rename these sections as well so it's all organized. So this one will be about, the second one will be gallery.
I've been, call me baby. I know it's kinda crazy, but if you're down for me, let's.
Because this is a pre-built Wix section, there's not actually a lot for me to do, but I am just going to adjust the background colors, and I'm going to get rid of this text and copy and paste some text that I've created previously. So I'm just going to go in and edit these, add the images, and just adjust the sizing of the images a little bit as well, as you'll see in this clip. And then I will be adjusting it across the different breakpoints. But like I said, because it is all pre-built, there isn't that much for me to do. I have changed it slightly in mobile, which you'll see in a little bit, but for the most part, I have just kept the same layout that Wix has already set up. Something kind of crazy. Tell me, baby. Also, the click animation won't be working on mobile, so what I'm going to do is just hide this little button that says click me, and it will just be hidden from the specific breakpoint of the mobile, and it will still be visible on the other screen sizes such as desktop and tablet. Don't be so shy, just don't keep me waiting, yeah. Am I the one you're dreaming of? Every day I'm thinking of you. So that's all looking good now. I'm ready to add a new section, and this will be the split screen. So I'm going to add columns. So there's going to be the left and the right hand side, and I'm going to set this as the founder section. And I'm just going to make this height of the section 600 pixels. And I'm going to add in the media and the text as well. So I'm just copy and pasting the text that we've already got above because it's been edited across all breakpoints, so it's a little bit easier to edit. Overall, though, there's going to be less edits. So on tablet, I'm keeping the split screen. And then on mobile, I'm going to change the layout from columns to rows. And this is going to make the image go on the top and the text on the bottom, just because there's smaller space, so it's a little bit easier to read when it's laid out like this. So I'm just adjusting everything, and that's all looking good. I just want to add some interactions on here as well. So I'm going to add an entrance animation for it to come in from the left hand side. And then I'm going to add in some text animation as well, so it comes in from the bottom. And I'm just making sure it all's looking good across the different breakpoints, which it seems to be. And now we're going to add another section, which is also going to be a split screen. So on the right hand side is going to be the image this time and a form, and then the left hand side is going to be the text. So I'm kind of doing what I did before, setting the image on the right, adding a background color to the left, and then just copying in some text. So on the right hand side is where the form is going to be for brands to sign up to be part of the pop-up. So I'm just going to add a container in here, and I'm going to turn off the shadow because I don't need that. And I'm just going to place that within the cell on the right hand side and just make sure it's the right size. Call me baby. So Wix actually has pre-built forms that you can access. You can create your own one, or you can use the contact forms or subscribe forms that they've got available. So I just want to show you what one of them looks like. And if you just want to do something quickly, these are very useful. The only issue is that they're not very customizable in terms of design. They are quite restricted with what you can do design wise. So I just want to show you that that is a possibility, but there is a little hack that I found to make something ultra customizable. So I'm just going to delete this for now. And to do this, you'll need to go into the CMS and make sure you're adding CMS onto your site, and then start by adding content. And I'm going to name this form the Work With Us form. And then we want to upload multiple items, so we create that. And then we need to add titles for each area that we need on the form. So we need the name, we need the email, we need business name, we need some information about their business. So that's what we're going to add in. And then under more actions, we're going to go under collection settings and then permission and privacy. And then we can see what type of content we will want to store this collection as, and it's as a form submission. So make sure you select that and it will automatically be saved once you hit save. And I'm actually just going to create one more. You can see the one we made just there, but I'm going to create one more because we've got another form. So this one's going to be the guest list form, and I'm just going to do this quickly. So now, because we've added that, we'll go into the menu and you'll see this little text that says input now. So we can now input different input fields so that people can input their information. And this is just so much more customizable than the pre-built forms. So under settings, I can just change the placeholder text, which I'm doing here. And then once I've done that, I can go into the editor and change all of the different styles as well. So I just want to have the border on the bottom. I'm going to change the text color, the font, and then once I'm happy with that style, I've just copy and pasted all of it.
Call me baby, I know it's...
And we also need to add a button to be able to submit the information. So we're just adding this one here and editing it a little bit. And to make this form usable, we need to add a data set under CMS. So we're just going to add that to the site and choose the Work With Us form that we've created. And then under the settings, we need to make the dataset mode to write, and we can start connecting the input forms to the dataset. So this will be name. Under email will be connected to email. The name of business will be connected to name of business. And then the tell us about your business will be connected to tell us about your business in the dataset as well. And then the submit button, just select submit and you will be good to go. And that just means that the form is now working. So I'm just making my final edits on this section, and then I'm going to adjust the design across the different breakpoints.
If you're down for me, let's do something kinda crazy. Don't be so shy, just don't keep me waiting, yeah.
So all is looking good across the different breakpoints now. So what I'm going to do is actually go back to the desktop view, and I'm going to make this founder section stick to the top so that the section underneath kind of overlaps it, because I think it will give it a really cool effect, especially in this design. So that's what we've done, and we're just going to test it out a little bit and see how it's looking. So I think that's going to look really cool once we've got a section underneath. And now we're going to add in a new section, and this section is going to be the sign up to the guest list. So this is just going to be a thin, simple section. So we're just going to copy and paste some text over as well. Change it to white. And then I'm just going to position this and fiddle around with it to get to the right look. And then we need to add in the input field. So I'm just going to go into input and copy and paste some of these little input fields in. And I'm just going to tinker with these a little bit until I'm happy with how they look.
Call me baby. I know it's kinda crazy, but if you're down for me, let's do something kinda crazy. Don't be so shy, just don't keep me waiting, yeah.
So I've actually already adjusted across all the different breakpoints. So now I'm going to add the data set and connect the form so it's usable. So this one's going to be connected to guest list, and I'm going to create the data set and make sure it's set to write as the mode. And I'm just going to link these up like I did with the other form. And you'll see me now just adjusting the success messages. So once the form has been submitted, it will come up with a little notification saying that the form has been submitted. So these won't actually display until you've pressed submit, but on the design, it will show you how it's going to look. So those are all set up, and I'm just going to have another break to see how it's all looking so far.
Call me baby. I know it's kinda crazy, but if you're down for me, let's do something kinda crazy. Don't be so shy, just.
So I think we're ready for the last section, which is the footer section. So I'm just going to change the background color to orange, and then I'm going to add in the logo. Just going to media, selecting the logo and adjusting the size until it gets to a size we like. Just making sure that's in the middle. And then I'm going to make the size of the section a little bit smaller, and then I'm going to add the menu down below. So what I need to do now is add in a menu. So I'm just going to drag in one from this list here, and you'll see it's only set to the amount of pages we have, which is technically 1. So what we need to do is add in a link and then an anchor. And this kind of anchors to different sections on the page, but first we need to create the anchors. So what I'm going to do now is just grab each of the sections and add an anchor to them. So under this one, I'm going to scroll to the bottom where it says anchor, and then I'm going to turn on add an anchor and then name it to hero. And I'm just going to go and do these to the rest of the sections across the site. So now the anchors are all set up, I am going to manage the menu and then add a link as an anchor, select the page we're on, which is the home page, and then select about, and then done, and then rename the anchor to appear as about. And I'm going to add in the links for the rest of the menu items as well.
Kinda crazy. Something kinda crazy.
So once they're all in, I'm then able to change the font, change the styles, change the colors of the navigation links on the right hand side. And you can customize how it's going to look on hover and when it's selected as well. And I also need to add in a Instagram icon. So they actually have one on here. I don't need to import one. So I'm just going to search for Instagram, and then they've got the icon there, and I'm just going to add that and then change it to white. And then you can also add a link as well, so you can link this to your Instagram page. And I'm just going to add the all rights reserved text at the bottom, and then I'm just going to make sure this is all looking good across the different breakpoints as well.
Got me feeling lucky. Come my way, you lovely. I've been waiting for you for a while. I've been waiting for you. What's the word? What's the word? What's the word? Yeah. What's the word? I've I've been waiting for you.
So the final thing we need to do now is add the menu at the top. So I'm just selecting this container, dragging it across the screen. And don't worry, because we're going to make this transparent at the end, but I'm just setting the container in place for now. And then once that's in place, I'm adding in the logo, putting that on the left hand side at the top. And then I'm going to copy and paste the footer menu up at the top because it's going to be the same anyway. So just putting that in place. And then we're going to make the container transparent so that we're just left with the menu. And then I'm just going to change that on the tablet breakpoint. And then on the mobile breakpoint, I'm actually going to hide this menu because I want to make it a hamburger menu. So we're going to hide this. I'm going to make the icon logo a little bit bigger, and then we're going to add in a hamburger menu. So I'm going to go on to the left hand side, and I'm going to select a hamburger menu and just drag that in, and then I'm going to change the color of it. Just adjust the size a little bit as well. Make sure to open the menu and make sure all the settings are right and I like how it's looking. And then we're basically done. So I'm going to now publish the site and then view it, and let's see how we've done. So it's all looking really good. All the links are working. All the hover animations are working. The position sticky scrolls looking good as well. And then we've got the click animation here, which is cool. And then another sticky positioning here with the different forms, another form there, and then we've got the footer. So all is looking really good, and I'm just going to show you how responsive it is. So if we make the screen a little bit smaller, it's all scaling to size and all looking good in this size as well. And then we can see how it's going to look when it's even smaller, if it's going to resize for us. And there we go, it's looking really good on mobile size as well. So that brings us to the end of the video. I hope that you found this useful and you've taken some tips and tricks here on how you can use Wix Studio in your own workflow going forward. Let me know if you guys try it and tell me how you like it as well. I'd be super curious to know. I'm really excited to see all the things you'll be able to create using this platform. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one. Inside my sacred body, taking no control. Feeling it in my holy. Sacrifice me, the curse I'm holding.